friends, welcome back to my channel, and for today's true crime tarot video we are going to be doing a deep dive on the Sebastian Rogers case, and we're hopefully going to be finding out what really happened in the leading moments up to his disappearance, what is the reason for his disappearance, and what's going to be happening in the future. Are we going to get any more answers? Are we going to find him? Is anybody going to be held accountable for anything? There's just so much unknown. So if you are unfamiliar with the case, I'm going to give you the quickest rundown. Also, sorry my shirt looks so ugly on camera. I promise it's just the design and I'm not sitting in a dirty shirt. But anyways, so Sebastian Rogers is a 15-year-old boy. He's autistic. He has another disability that is genetic. I can't quite remember the name of it. However, yeah, so that's his situation. Mom and stepdad are kind of giving some weird vibes and weird energy. There's been a history of them kind of not being the best parents. So there's a lot of speculation on what is really going on here. And basically, Mom said when she went to go wake him up in the morning, he just simply wasn't there. So they think that he just got up and left. However, there is currently no evidence of anything. No evidence of foul play, no evidence of him leaving, no evidence of somebody taking him. There's just literally no answers. So this is an ongoing investigation. We're about to be hitting the year mark of Sebastian Rogers being missing. And so hopefully today we can just get some answers and yeah, see what's to come. And of course, as always, this is done with the best intentions for the victims. So justice for Sebastian Rogers, okay? Also, everything in this video is for entertainment purposes only. Everything here is alleged. I don't know what I'm talking about. I am just talking. So with that out of the way, please give me a like and a subscribe if you enjoy the way I deliver this content. And also, please leave a comment. I want to hear what your ideas are. I want to hear what you think about the reading and then what you think is going to happen. I would love to have a healthy discussion, and all opinions and ideas are welcome here. So let's go ahead and jump into the video. I'm going to go ahead and cleanse my cards, my space, and my mind. I'm going to set intentions of connecting with my guides as well as Sebastian Rogers' guides. We're going to collaborate together to bring you the most accurate information of my ability for today's reading. And whether we find out where Sebastian is or not, I at least want to find out the truth of what actually happened to him, and if he is still alive, and if there's the possibility of us ever finding him. So let's go ahead and just dive right into today's reading. We're going to be taking a look at how he had been feeling leading up to the moment of him no longer being in the home, kind of what the energies were with his parents, and then we're just going to go from there. But I want to start at the very beginning. So the first card the first card that I'm going to pull is going to represent Sebastian. I'll do one representing his mother, his stepdad, and we'll do the energy in between both of them. So first card is Sebastian and the family home dynamic. So here we have the World card reversed. So I think he felt a little stuck there and he felt misunderstood. That was not the home that he wanted to be in. And you know, that is known. He had told his dad that he didn't want to go back. His dad mentioned that. His dad just never fully understood why, because he had a hard time answering that direct question. Sometimes that's something autistic people struggle with, is answering direct questions. So now the next card we're going to be is his mother. We have the Judgment card in reverse here. So I feel like she was quite judgmental and probably felt embarrassed by him. I don't think she even bothered to fully understand his disabilities because he was autistic. And then there's another genetic one that I can't quite remember the name of. But okay, here we have the Nine of Swords in the reverse position. So I'm going to put this here. Okay, that's interesting because that is representative of the energy between them. So Sebastian, mother, energy between them. So this card typically signifies like kind of overcoming a depressive episode or like overthinking and that sort of thing. However, what I'm kind of getting here is that I think his mother was just over it, if that makes sense. So like she was kind of judging herself. Maybe she was letting judgment from other people or parents kind of take over her brain. He was not really feeling happy in the home. Just things weren't quite lining up the way he wanted to. He felt misunderstood, or like he never had the opportunity to fully communicate his needs. I don't think he felt like he could. And I don't think they ever gave him the opportunity. And I feel like his mom just totally checked out. I feel like there's a part in her life where she was feeling really like anxious and depressed and like really weighed down, like almost as if he was kind of holding her back. And so I feel like she just reached a point in her emotional mindset about her mother-son relationship where she was just kind of like, you know what? I am checked out. Like, I don't even have those feelings anymore because I'm not associating myself with this. And that would be being his mother, even though she is his mother. So that's kind of weird. Okay, let's do a card representing the stepdad. Here we have the Chariot reverse. This one kind of wanted to pop out earlier too, but I just thought I was messing up the cards. Okay, interesting. So this one being his stepdad, the Chariot reverse. So this indicates a lack of progression forward and forward movement. So I think he too felt a little stuck. I think I said that about him, like he was feeling a little bit stuck, but I think he felt stuck in a place of like, I don't want to deal with this. I'm just kind of doing this for my wife. Yeah, and I think he really just had, emotional growth. He was very emotionally immature and he was stuck there. There was no working with him to get him to comprehend Sebastian in any way, nor did he want to. Like, he was very stuck mentally, and there was no progression forward or change in any of his behaviors and thought processes. I know, I'm not exactly sure what it was. I know there's some like stuff in the past that he maybe did or whatever. I am not quite sure what it was. I didn't ever read it, but I know that there was something in the past that he was associated with that was kind of like red flaggy. So some people have thought like, oh, maybe he does have a part in this because he has a bad history, and people aren't sure if like, oh, well, that was a long time ago, he's different. But this is telling me that he is not different, whatever that was. Okay, and then we have the Death card in reverse, but when it comes to the energy between Sebastian and the stepfather. Ooh, okay, the energy between them being the Death card reversed. Give me a second. I think he wanted him gone, but couldn't figure out a way to get him gone. But I think that is the overall energy that I'm getting, is he did not want him there. He wanted something to change about him, and he just wouldn't change because that's who he was. Yes, he really wanted Sebastian to be different and to change. So he tried to do that by being in this horrible mindset. I feel like he was emotionally abusive. And he did everything he could, like not in a good way, but, you know, in a crappy way, abusive way, that I think, you know, verbally to try and kind of shut Sebastian down and get him to change. But of course there is that resistance to that transformation because Sebastian doesn't need to change. You know, there's some parts of him that needs more attention and he needs some healing and some extra love, but there's no trying to change the disability out of him. That's crazy. So this is the general home energies that I'm getting right now, and it super sucks. So what I'm going to be moving forward with is what were the energies going on in the house the last night that he was there. Let's just do some cards, see what was going on there. Okay, here we have the Six of Cups in reverse. We have the Temperance card reversed. And, okay. And then we also have the Four of Cups in reverse. Okay, so what this is telling me is that there was definitely he was having some struggles when it came to his disability. This card talks about like revisiting past things, revisiting like, you know, he is a child, but this talks about childhood. And what this is showing me is that he was having a little bit of a struggle with his emotional regulation. That's a part of his disability. And, you know, typically in those situations, you really need to meet your children with patience and love, especially when they're disabled. Like, all kids need patience and love in hard moments, but especially when they're disabled, their brain just works in a different way, okay? But however, there was a lot of impatience and imbalance in the way these hard situations were being handled. This over here is kind of like no longer ignoring your intuition, or maybe like listening to the ideas in your mind and thinking like, okay, you know what, I'm gonna act on that. So I'm not quite sure who this is showing up for. We'll definitely trying to figure that out here, but this is showing like, okay, he was really struggling. There was a lack of patience and empathy and balance in response to that, and somebody had an idea and decided this is what we're doing. So let's take a look at, what is that? What is that idea? Is that Sebastian wanting to leave? Is that his mother thinking the only thing she can do is tell him to leave? Like, there's just so much unknown. So let's kind of get into that. So what is this idea? Who does this pertain to? Okay, so here we have the Two of Pentacles. That's gaining balance. Let's see. And then here I have the Nine of Pentacles. That's like enjoying your hard work, enjoying the things that you tried to accomplish and do. I feel like this maybe has to do with mom or stepdad. I think they lacked patience. In order to try and balance things out in the home, which is put a stop to whatever he was struggling with, they wanted to fix that, and they were going to enjoy the lack of him there. Okay, so what I'm getting at here is I think they had a plan. They either shunned him to his room, or they told him to get outside. Okay, sorry, I was hearing weird sounds in my hallway. I think it's my kitty. I'm gonna hope it's my kitty, because that would be scary if it wasn't. Anyways, what was I saying? Okay, so I don't know if this is them trying to stop what was happening and say, go to your room, get away from us. We're gonna just enjoy our peace over here. We don't have the patience or time to deal with you. This is all about time management. Like, they were not gonna put in the effort to that. And they were enjoying their silence, or them no longer having to like confront or face the real issues that Sebastian was going through. This is horrible. This makes me sad. Okay. So let's kind of see, like, let me see here. Okay, we have another card coming out. We have the Knight of Cups. So this is motivation and direction. This comes from a place of like a real emotionally charged decision to embark on it. There's like a sense of like passion going through with this. So at this point in time, I feel like he did want to leave. I'm not quite sure. And I'll get into this a little bit more, if he was sent to his room and then he left from there to be sneaky, or if, again, this was them sending him outside and he decided, you know what, I hate it here anyways, I'm gonna leave. I'm gonna do what I can to get away from this. So I'm gonna regather the cards, and we're going to now start basically from what happened that night, I guess. So let's take a look at what exactly happened that night, if we can get just any more information in detail on this. Whose decision was it to do what? Okay, we have the Eight of Cups in reverse. This is walking away from something. So I literally think he did walk away from the home. Okay. The Four of Pentacles. No longer holding on to security and safety. Like, there's not that what's it called, like a lot of this is protection, but like holding on really tightly, it can almost be like a little too, like, keeping yourself from expanding and moving forward and growing because you are holding on so tightly to something of the past. Here, oh, now we have the Judgment card in the upright and the Knight of Wands. So I feel like Sebastian genuinely wanted out of that house so bad that he did not care that it was cold. He didn't care that he didn't have shoes. Maybe he did that for a reason. I'm not quite sure on that one. But I think he felt a calling to walk away from his home because of how horrible they treated him. He was letting go of his sense of security, and he was inspired to leave. This is a very clear picture here. Okay. After that, let's see here. If he felt like he needed to go, why? Let's look at the why. Okay, Knight of Cups. Yeah, because they were draining his goals, his ambition, like anything that he loved and brought him joy. I really think they shot it down. They made him feel like, I think he really struggled with feeling like, why does he exist? What is his purpose if he's just going to be shut down all the time? That's really sad. Okay, so let's see. Anything else on why he wanted to go? Here we have the Nine of Swords. This is so interesting because we're getting some of these cards that we had earlier, but now like here in different positions. Okay, so now I have the Nine of Swords upright. So again, he was just full of depression and anxiety. He was overthinking. Again, he was really contemplating his existence, why he was here, what his purpose is, why he had to be with them, why he couldn't just be with his dad. Let's see if there's any other reason that he was leaving. Oh yeah, he really had to defend and stand up for himself. And I don't think he wanted to do that anymore. This is like he knew that he was not treated properly. And the unfortunate thing is a lot of times children and people with disabilities sometimes don't recognize when they are being abused or mistreated. But I get the feeling that because he understood what love and some freedoms felt like from his bio father, that he knew that this wasn't right. So I fully think that's why he wanted to leave. He was feeling shut down. He didn't know his purpose, and he was really having to constantly fight for himself and stand up for himself. And he was exhausted. He was over it. And I think he really felt like this is what he had to do. Like this feeling like a calling. This is really what he felt like he had to do. So, okay. Now something I want to take a look at is there is some surveillance video of 2 lights around 3 a.m. This is also around the time frame that they're saying he probably left the house. Very interesting. Now, the video is so dark and it's so far away that it literally just looks like 2 little lights. So it could either be 2 actual lights. They're at a distance from each other. So it could be flashlights. It could be, if it's a thermal camera, I'm not quite sure. That was something that was brought up. If it's a thermal camera, it could just be like people, I guess. But it looks like lights. I don't really see this being like a thermal camera. There's none of those like colors or anything. It was just black and then white lights. So I believe it was tried to been passed off as a garbage truck, but who the heck has a garbage truck driving around at 3 a.m. and literally nobody could confirm that. So that makes absolutely no sense. So let's take a look at what were those lights. I have some speculation that Mom and stepdad knew that he was out of the house. They either didn't care or they told him to get out there. That part is still a little bit unclear. And I think they were a little alarmed when he never came back. That is where my brain is at. So let's kind of see. King of Swords. So this is like a clear knowing. Yeah, so, okay. They knew that he was out of the house that night. There is no waking him up or going to wake him up in the morning and he just wasn't there. Like, no, they absolutely had a clue. We also have the Page of Wands. Okay. So yeah, this is opportunity. They saw this as an opportunity. Oh my God. They knew he was out there. They really didn't care. And they saw this as an opportunity of freedom. I hate to say it. Okay. So let's go back to those lights though. Was that them looking? Was that just something that had nothing to do with this? Like, did they go out and look for a second and then they had to come up with a plan? Okay, so this is like their thoughts, their intuition speaking to them. And this is the Star card in reverse. So this talks about like an imbalance, a lack of, what am I trying to say? Like okay, look at the imagery here. She's pouring into her own pond and making sure to pour into the land as well. So this is a card about giving and receiving. Oh, am I still recording? Okay, I am. Good. Sorry. So this is a card about like giving and receiving and there being balance in that. This card about like rejuvenation. However, when this is in the reverse, this talks about like a lack of trust and faith. So if this is talking about ideas here, I think that, yeah, so they fully knew he was out there. And I think they did. I think that maybe could be them. I think that really could be them, because if they're getting these ideas of potential, like, oh, look at this opportunity, like, is he gone? Like, he left the house, he hasn't been back in hours. That's just kind of that's what's coming through right now. And they were like, what is happening right now? The, oh, like, okay, remember the card of like balance, being imbalanced, and them trying to make a balance out of that. This is also a card of imbalance. So now them trying so hard to create balance, which is push the problem to the side, as in make Sebastian go away. Now they have just created even more of an imbalance. And they're like, oof, okay, this isn't exactly going in the direction that we wanted it to, but like, I think they fully saw this as an opportunity and wanted to take some sort of ridiculously gross advantage of it. Now, there was some speculation that this could be due to like custody issues, because Seth, his biological father, did mention like, hey, he's going to be coming with me. And they didn't really say no or fight it, but that was like the last conversation that they had before he went missing. So could that be an issue there? Were they wanting to hide something else? So let's take a look at the energy of the what's it called? The I literally just said it. How am I forgetting it? Custody. Okay. Let's take a look at the energy of like the custody issues going on, and Seth, the biological dad, and just kind of like what that looks like here. Okay, here we have the Queen of Pentacles reversed. So yeah, there's definitely an issue with the like structure where this was going to come from. I think mom and stepdad did kind of have a problem with Seth having a better life, because the 10 of Pentacles is about like family and abundance and happiness and just being able to like relish in the things you want. This is about like issues in your foundation and structure. And yeah, so he would definitely be moving away from this imbalance here, this feeling kind of like all over the place, scatterbrained is the word that's coming to me, into a more balanced, stable home life. So that's definitely what that looks like there. Let's kind of see what's next. Oh yeah, then we have the Six of Swords in reverse. So they didn't want that to happen. So that is interesting. I think maybe that's why they saw this as an opportunity. Like, okay, normally this doesn't apply to this kind of situation, but like the phrase, and maybe this would be like moved around differently, the words, but for some reason the phrase like, if we can't have him, nobody can have him, is kind of coming in. So while I do think he left on his own accord, I really think, again, they saw that as an opportunity of like, let's jump on this. Okay, I want to see if I can get a better picture of like, did they tell him to leave? Was that something he did with his own actions, or did they make him leave as like a form of punishment? Go outside in the cold. Queen of Swords in reverse. Page of Pentacles. Let's do one more. And then 10 of Cups upright. They were already thinking of this idea before they told him to go outside. They used, okay, they came, it was either both of them coming together or just mom, or just stepdad. I'm not really sure, but somebody or both of them came together and said, let's get him. He can go outside. We're done with this. He can calm down outside. They saw this window of opportunity here, and they're like, you know what? We're locking the door, or we're not letting him in until X amount of time. I think they wanted to wait for a ridiculously long time to where they knew he would not just stay there. And the reason that I'm thinking that is because they saw this as a fulfilling moment for their family. They saw this as making things better because I think they genuinely knew or had an inkling that something would come from this situation of making him go outside, waiting a long time. Maybe they came out around 3 a.m. That's what those lights were, because they already had this clear knowing of what was going on. They wanted to double check, is he around the house? Can we go ahead and go through with our story of, oh, we heard a weird thump and we told him to quiet down, but we didn't go check on him. Like, that's stupid in the first place. But anyways, and then, you know, going to wake him up in the morning and he's just not there. Interesting. Okay, so now that we have this down, what we're going to be looking at is why have they not even tried to care in the media and go search for him? I'm pretty certain it's because they already knew. They already knew that he was gone. They already knew, like, he was in the area, or the fact that they just didn't care. Because, I don't know, like, I mean, look at the history of other people who have not gone out and looked for their missing child. They were guilty or just horrible in some way. So why didn't they go look for him? Why did they put in no effort? I think at one point his biological dad was still setting up, you know, search hunts, and then mom and stepdad were literally on freaking vacation. Okay. So the Wheel of Fortune reverse talks about, like, negative cycles, bad habits. Here's the Tower card. Okay. And then we also have the Three of Wands. Okay, I think part of the reason that they are not looking is because they know what happened leading up to it, and they have a lot of guilty knowledge, and they are continuing that cycle of not addressing problems that they have started because they are fearful of this Tower moment crumbling down on them. They know that they are guilty in some form or fashion. They are nervous of this Tower card. They are trying to avoid it, and they lack foresight. They have no idea what is going to happen in the future. So I see this coming through a little bit. I see more evidence coming out towards them. I feel like a Tower moment is kind of inevitable. You just try and avoid it. I mean, there are sometimes you can have, like, crisis averted, but when it's something that's really needed and when it comes up in the upright, this is an unavoidable deconstruction of a foundation and a situation. This can be just so stressful for most people. But in this instance, if all of this is really true, then yeah, they need a freaking Tower moment. They suck. Okay, so that makes sense as to why they want to go looking for him. I think they would even be nervous that they would find something. And then what are they going to do when they find him? Can they really fake that type of emotion? Because they've really failed to fake any kind of emotion in their interviews. So I think that's part of why they haven't gone looking for him. Let's see if we get any other cards on this situation here. We also have the Emperor coming in the upright. So I think they're really trying to control the narrative and take lead in this. And that's also why they don't want to put themselves out there more than they already have. I think they are nervous about how they're looking. The King of Cups, they're just focusing on their happiness. They are like, we're still going to do our thing. We're not going to worry about this, because they know that there's technically no hard evidence against them. So they are just trying to lay low, stay out of the limelight even more than they have been. They're trying to move past this. Yeah, they literally don't care. They are trying to move away from this. Wow. They care for themselves, but they don't care, like, if he's okay. And then again, we have the Six of Cups in reverse. So this is like revisiting the past. This can also talk about, like, again, like I said, childhood. So I think they're really trying to move away. They want to disassociate from everything that has been. They want to avoid this moment. They want to act like it never happened and just be like, oh, well, you know, we tried and it's really sad. Anyways, like, that's the energy that I'm getting from them. It's so messed up. So what we're going to be taking a look at now is, where is Sebastian? Is he okay? Is he not okay? Will he be found? Is anything going to come out against the parents? Will they be held accountable? Like, what is going to happen with this? Okay. So, let's take a look-see here. Let's look at the... Okay, let's look at it as whenever he first left the house to where he is now. in the future for Sebastian. Let's see what we get there. Okay, so lack of long-term view, but knowing that he wanted out. This is like planting seeds, waiting for it to grow. And whenever this is in the reverse, it could either be finally enjoying the fruits of your hard work, or it can indicate a lack of direction and growth, because this is all about like planting those seeds you want, but sometimes it's waiting around and it's not happening. And so when this is in the reverse, it could be they're finally falling off the tree. However, in this situation, that's just simply not what is happening. He is trying to escape the current idea of what his long-term view is like, which is being stuck at home. He's trying to avoid that, and I think he did not have an exact plan of what was to come. He was really thinking just in the moment. Now let's see, what do we get for the current Sebastian? Okay. 10 of Cups in reverse, so disharmony, lack of imbalance, that makes sense. Not happiness. This is also, you know, the separation from family, because this card talks a lot about family dynamic and love and passion and all of that. So he's been taken away from that. And that has really hurt his heart, because even though that's what he wanted, like, he never had that kind of emotional bond in the first place, that safety net. So that makes sense. That's where his heart is at. What does the future hold for him? The Moon card. Interesting. Fears and anxieties, but also it could be like, let's see here. Okay, what I'm kind of getting here is like, again, he was just really, this is interesting to me, because this is like, okay, let me back up. If he hasn't already been hurt in some way, like some physical way, I think he will. Because, again, here's this like lack of knowing what's happening, feeling like there's no harmony in his life, feeling sad, and this talks about fear. Also, the animals are really standing out to me here. Oh my gosh, how interesting. Okay, something that I saw in my mind when I was just trying to like meditate and get in the zone for this was a rock, a little fence, and like, I don't know, maybe some like grassy area, maybe a little bit of water. I'm not quite sure. It actually came to me in my mind like a black and white drawing almost. I'm not quite sure. When I was taking notes on like, because I was watching a little video trying to take notes on like what questions do I need to really focus on, right? So here's my little poor drawing of what I saw in my mind, okay? So I know I'm basically a professional. But anyways, that's kind of crazy, because that's really standing out to me here. I think perhaps this is maybe, I know they've been looking in water, and that's something we are going to take a look at here in a minute, because there is a certain like pond that, oh, that is my baby. Be right back. Okay, I am back. Sorry about that interruption, but my little baby needed me to change his diaper and go rock him back to sleep. So I say he's a little baby, but he's not that little anymore. Anyways, okay, enough about that. Anyways, while I rocked him back to sleep, I tried to empty my mind and see if I could get a better understanding of this, because I was honestly feeling a little bit confused. However, it is clear to me now. So, like I was saying, I drew that little picture because it came to my mind. And I have successfully a few other times when I really put my mind to it, I've been able to see where a person was the last time, like their last time being somewhere, okay? So what I'm really feeling here is that what they need to do is look around water. I fear he may be in water, or just may be in an outdoorsy area next to water. I worry that he has been hurt, if not by his own just being a 15-year-old disabled boy, you know, wandering into something that he shouldn't have gotten, or if these animals are an indicator of something that could have happened to him. That is something that I'm seeing. Another thing that I'm seeing is that, they have been using these doggies to try and find his scent, and their canines can smell scent for up to a year. That's at least what they have said. And Sebastian went missing in February of 2024. So we're almost at our year mark in February of 2025, which is incredibly sad that it's been this long and there is absolutely no leads anywhere. So what I'm getting at is this was his first feeling being out of the house. There was that lack of that long-term view, and he didn't know what was going to happen. He had been feeling really disheartened throughout the whole thing, like, again, just questioning his existence and wondering why couldn't he just have that family connection that he had hoped for? Why is his life full of so much disharmony? And he has been met with fearful times throughout his time being out there. I don't know. I honestly don't have a good feeling about it. I am not going to say for sure that he is alive or not. I'm just not fully getting that answer. I'm not going to sit here and make something up. But what I am getting is that the somewhere kind of outdoorsy, outdoorsy, and like somewhere that's not really close to anything else next to water is definitely should be looked at a little bit more. Hopefully, maybe we'll find out that dogs were able to trace something and that's how they find them. But I am really kind of feeling that there was just some fears and some, just nature and animals and just so many things at play that maybe led to something unfortunate happening. Oh my gosh, I can never talk when I make my videos or like any other time. But anyways, so yeah, I think they really need to be searching water much more heavier than they have been. I know there's been a lot of looking and seeking for him, but this is still an active, ongoing investigation, and they will be, I saw that they meet every week about it, and they are going to be putting more teams out there, so I'm hoping that we will find something through the water, but let's just take a look at that. So what's to expect from this investigation? Are we going to be finding any evidence, especially if they're, looking in the water, and will this lead to us being able to find him? So let's just pull some cards on that. Here we have the Six of Wands in reverse. Okay, so, and then the Hierophant. Okay, so I feel like as far as learning things about this case and this situation, I feel like it's going to be, it already has been pretty slow. I do think there will be some knowledge gained a little bit later. And I'm not quite sure if they're going to be able to let us know. And I think that's kind of where this comes in, because so many people are going to be feeling like, what is happening? Like, how do we not know anything? However, I do think that there will be more knowledge to come out later. They are just withholding it because, it's still an ongoing investigation. They can't just let anything out. But I do see them finding some kind of other evidence or getting some kind of lead about something involving this. And then we have the Knight of Wands. So this is going to be a tough fight, an uphill battle. It's going to be really hard, but they just can't give up. They have to keep going. And I do think we are going to see an answer here. At least an answer as to, where he is. Maybe get an idea of that. Or maybe, let's see what the answer is. Is this an answer on where he is? Or is this an answer on maybe mom and stepdad being more involved? What is this pertaining to? Disruption in the family home. Okay, so with that being said, well, his parents, when I say parents, mom and stepdad, his biological father has only been wanting the best for his son, for him to come back. So, are they going to be held accountable? Okay, oh, here we go. King of Cups is showing up again. These two came out, let's just go with it. Okay, Eight of Cups, and then this one reversed. Wow, okay, are they going to be held accountable? So, looking at the Four of Cups in the reverse, again, that's like being aware of a situation. So, yeah, there is going to be something to come out that amongst the police force, the investigative team. I'm not quite sure when this will be exposed to the public. about the mom and the stepdad, and it's going to show their disruption and disharmony in the home, while they are still they're really trying not to appear a certain way. And that's where this King of Cups comes in. They're like trying to be really sure of their emotions and like appear a certain way. However, they are, okay, this is interesting. The imagery is really speaking out to me here. So the 10 of Pentacles being in reverse, again, this talks about family and abundance and just having all the things that you should have. And when it's in the reverse, it's not having that lack of abundance, a lack of a family foundation, okay? And with the 8 of Cups, this is walking away from something, walking towards something. And I mean, just look at this here. They are literally walking away from their ability to mask their emotions and to make their emotions appear in the way that I think they are wanting them to appear. I feel like they think they've been doing a pretty okay job because nothing's been happening so far, but they're quite suspicious. And anyways, they're going to be walking away from this straight into this kind of flip upside down of their family home life that they thought they were going to have after this. So with that being said, I do think some stuff's going to come out on them. I do think the police are going to be questioning them a little bit more. We have the Chariot in reverse. So that's indicating like a lack of forward movement and direction in something. And then here we have the 2 of Cups. So that's like a separation of something. Let's do one more, see if this helps me at all. Because this is interesting. It's like, while yes, I do see this coming out for them, it's like, okay, I think it's just going to be really slow. I think it's going to be really slow, and they're probably going to turn each other against each other. Like turn mom and stepdad kind of against each other through this questioning. So it's going to feel like there are some steps back being taken, because now it's going to go from, you know, we just have no clue what happened to, you know, once they start pressing and questioning further, when they give them undeniable evidence of something's not right here, it's going to turn into, well, you know, he always had a problem with this, or she did this, or, you know, it was her idea to kick him outside. I didn't know that. I don't know. Something stupid. Some type of blame shifting that's going to make this feel like it's not really making progress. However, with the 10 of Swords being in the reverse, this is the ending of a painful time. So I really see whatever it is coming to light. They're not going to be able to keep up whatever facade they have going on forever. And I do believe that we are going to get more answers on this. And yeah, that's going to be one thing taken care of. Now, let's see here. Okay, let's just see, is there anything else that we need to know about the situation? I feel like I've touched on all the questions I can think about that people have really been wanting to know. I hope I've been giving you some easy to understand answers. I feel like sometimes my brain is thinking too fast and I like start to say a lot of things before I even finish a sentence. So hopefully I've been making sense and you guys are following along pretty easily. But yeah, let's just see if there's anything else we need to know. Knight of Wands in reverse, so like a lack of direction and motivation, long-term view, trying to figure out what's going on, see what's happening, what's to come. And then the Queen of Swords, clarity. So, okay. We, as people and those who care about Sebastian, have been feeling really defeated and been really down about the situation because of the lack of progress. They're almost losing motivation. They're losing hope. There is... They have a long-term idea, long-term vision, however, of how they want this to play out, and they're kind of waiting to see what will happen. Like, I feel like, oh, okay, people feel like they've kind of done everything they can at this moment, and with that, and there being no current leads, that's what's kind of causing this lack of motivation or feeling like they're losing hope a little bit. However, back to the long-term view is like, they have done everything they can at this time. So now they're just kind of waiting around to be like, okay, is anything going to come of this? And we just have to stay patient and wait and not give up, because we will have clear information. There will be clarity on the situation of what exactly happened and where to go from there. So I do see us people and family members and the police getting the answers that they need and just getting more clarity on what exactly has happened. I just think this is something that we're going to have to be really patient with and to just kind of trust that process to see what happens. And we have the 10 of Cups in reverse. And the 6 of Pentacles. Interesting. And Page of Pentacles reversed. Okay. I think mom and stepdad are clearly not happy with what's going to be happening. Oh my gosh. So after we gain clarity on what has happened, after all of that is out, they're not going to be happy. This is like dissatisfaction. Why did this have to happen this way to us? I think some type of maybe, I'm not sure if this would be applied in this situation. I mean, I guess we'll find out with what happens, but I'm seeing some kind of like deal, maybe some type of plea deal if it does get taken that direction, but there's some type of deal being made where it's like, okay, if if you're honest about this, then we'll cut you some slack. Something like that, okay? And then Page of Pentacles being in the reverse, that's like opportunity, but there's a block to that. So I see because of their dissatisfaction and their huffy-puffy, immature emotions over absolutely everything, that's going to cause some blocks to this opportunity of seeking justice. So I think that's where this like kind of deal or like contractual situation comes up where it's like, maybe the authorities are thinking these guys are being really difficult, and at the end of the day, we just want to know where Sebastian is and if he's okay. So we got to come up with something to try and get rid of these blocks of this potential opportunity to find what really happened to him, and could we potentially find out where he is. So I will leave it at that. I feel like we got a lot of solid information on the case. I really hope that we're able to figure out exactly what has happened, because literally nobody ever deserves any of that. And maybe it touches my heart just a little bit more because my oldest son is autistic. I have some family that is autistic, and I don't know, it hurts my heart. They're beautiful people. All children are wonderful, but there's something especially horrific about, not wanting to accept your child just because something is slightly different. So anyways, that's enough of me talking. Thank you so much for the love and support. I really appreciate it. Please, if you like the way that I present this information, give me a like and a subscribe. And also, I would love to hear a healthy discussion and conversation about this in the comments below. What are your opinions? What do you think about the reading here? And yeah, I would just love to know what everybody thinks, and hopefully we can all have some answers here soon for the sake of justice for Sebastian. So it was all great to be here for you all, and I will see you all in the next video. Bye.